Merry Christmas, children. Merry, Merry Christmas. I'm going to tell you about Santa Claus, the real Santa Claus. There are a lot of fake Santa Clauses out there, you know. But I'm going to tell you about the real Santa Claus. You know, a lot of people will tell you that Santa doesn't exist, that Santa Claus doesn't exist. They are wrong. Santa Claus exists, and I'm going to tell you about him. And I'm going to tell you where he lives. Santa, at one time, was a real little boy like you and I were. His name was Nicholas. And about 1,600 years ago, he lived in a place called Myra in Lycia. Now, that place doesn't exist anymore, but that's where Turkey is now, the country of Turkey. And Santa lived there, and he grew up as a good Christian little boy. And he said his prayers, and he loved God, and he loved to go to church and pray and do good things for people. Well, anyway, when he became a man, he decided that instead of getting married, he wanted to be a priest and serve God and people that way. So he became a priest. And then later, he became the bishop of Myra in Lycia. And as bishop, he became famous. Not because he was powerful or not because he ruled people or killed people. He became famous because of how good he was to people. He used to go around at night to all the various poor people in his area. And he used to leave little gifts of what they needed in order to live. If someone needed some food, he'd leave food. And if someone needed some clothing, he'd leave some clothes. If someone needed some blankets so they wouldn't be cold, he left blankets. And so he did all this, but he did it at night so no one could see him. And so people didn't know for a long time who it was that was leaving all these gifts. And then they found out that it was Bishop Nicholas that was doing it. And the reason he did it at night was he didn't want to embarrass people. You know, if someone doesn't have a nice pair of shoes, or if someone doesn't have clothes that really fit them, or if someone is hungry, it can embarrass them to just give them something, especially if you do it in front of other people. So Bishop Nicholas, he went around at night, and he gave, and no one knew he gave. And no one was embarrassed, and people got what they needed. And so in time, Bishop Nicholas, he died, and they made him a saint. They canonized him a saint. The church made him a saint, Saint Nicholas. Now, you know there are many, many languages in the world. There's Greek, there's English, there's Russian, there's French, there's Dutch. Well, Santa Claus is Dutch for Saint Nicholas. We use Santa Claus, but the real meaning of the word is Saint Nicholas. It points to the Bishop of Myra in Lycia. Now, if Saint Nicholas is a saint, he exists today. He exists with Jesus in heaven, because nothing can separate a Christian from the love of God made visible in Jesus, not death or anything else. So Santa Claus, Saint Nicholas, really does exist. In his spirit, which is the spirit of Jesus, is the spirit of giving to people, freely giving to people, not asking anything back, but just giving because they need it. And the gifts that he gives are gifts that are good for their body and good for their soul and good for their spirit, as Jesus would give those gifts. So Santa Claus is loving as Jesus would love, and taking care of people as Jesus would take care of them. And that's how we got our present day Christmas, celebrating the feast of Santa Claus, St. Nicholas, on the feast that Jesus came as God's greatest gift to human beings. He gave himself to save us and to be kind to us and to love us forever. And so, when we give Christmas gifts, when Santa gives Christmas gifts, the real Santa Claus, the one that exists, when the real Santa Claus, who lives in the spirit of Jesus, gives gifts, they are always gifts that help people, and always gifts that make people friends with each other and make people good to each other. Now, there's a lot. You know, my boys and girls, there are a lot of people out there, and they're fake Santa Clauses. They're not real Santa Clauses. How do you tell the fake Santa Claus from the real Santa Claus? The way that you tell the fake Santa Claus from the real Santa Claus is by the gifts that he gives. The real Santa Claus gives gifts that are full of life and kindness and mercy and loving and caring for each other. The fake Santa Claus, the make-believe Santa Claus, the Santa Claus that really isn't Santa Claus, gives gifts like this: guns, knives, video games, that are gifts that bring people and make people play like they were killing each other, hurting each other, harming each other, making each other sad, causing each other pain. Santa Claus would never give a gun, a toy gun, at Christmas so the children could play killing other children, killing other people, making other people suffer. Why wouldn't Santa do that? Because he's a saint. And if he's a saint, he lives in Jesus. His spirit is the spirit of Jesus, which is the spirit of love and care. And so, something like this here, a toy machine gun, he would never, the real Santa Claus, would never give, never even think of giving. Because this is the spirit of hurting people, of harming people, of doing evil to people. You tell the real Santa Claus from the fake Santa Claus, the real St. Nicholas from the fake St. Nicholas, by his fruits, the fruits that he gives. The real Santa Claus gives fruits that really, they heal people, they help people, they make people friends. The fake Santa Claus, those make-believe Santa Clauses, they give children toys that make them enemies of other people, that make them harm other people, hurt other people, make them do what Jesus would never do. And so, children, on this Christmas, St. Nicholas, who does exist in heaven with Jesus, his spirit, along through the Spirit of Christ, spreads throughout the world. And that is the spirit that he wishes you to receive and to give in your Christmas gifts. So, children, please, no war toys at Christmas. No toys that hurt people or harm people at Christmas. Don't give them. Don't accept them. There's so many other good and wonderful things to give, to make people happy and to make people friends and to give people life. Those video games like Call to Duty and so forth, you know what they are. They're just hurting people, harming people. That's not Jesus, and that's not St. Nicholas. Santa Claus would never, never give you such a gift. Never. And so, this Christmas, live in the spirit of St. Nicholas, the spirit of Christmas, the spirit of Santa Claus, the spirit of Christ. Put the real Santa Claus back into Christmas. Put the real Christ back into Christmas. And take toys that are given in order to make believe you're harming and killing and hurting people out of Christmas. Take the war toys out of Christmas. And Merry Christmas to all of you. And to all of you, a good life.